are just a couple weeks in at this point, and it's already hardship contract season.
Woo! Made it to June.
Yeah, it's already that time. A couple that have been signed, some more notable than others. Jaylen Brown goes to Connecticut. Look, after that ass whooping, they could probably use whatever that they can get respectfully. Haley Jones going to Phoenix with some departures for Eurobasket coming off that Mercury roster. I like that. Like, that's like I'm intrigued in seeing what Haley, who obviously like kind of the biggest knock on her has been her shooting. And especially with AT out with injury right now, where like they don't really have kind of like that primary facilitator in that way. And again, obviously AT struggles from the same thing. Not that Haley and AT are like the same player, but just in the terms of like what they bring from a floor spacing perspective and what they're good at. They're good at facilitating. They're not good at shooting. So I'm interested in how this system can maybe help maybe like expose positively the good things that Haley can do if she's able to get on the court. But yeah, I saw that. I was actually pretty well excited about that. What do you think that we could see a little bit of a resurgence from Haley in Phoenix?
Coach Riblets would have to eat his words and allow the mid range because she's got a nice mid range game. So that's kind of my issue, like making her shoot threes or just pushing her to be a slasher. Like, let her post up a couple times. I like her post up. I don't know. We'll see. I think I like Haley Jones as a player and think she could be an asset on any team, really. Yeah. So it's just a matter of, is this system going to help, and is she going to be able to stick around based on what he's asking her to do?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Again, obviously, it's not a 1-for-1 by any means of the caliber of player that Alyssa Thomas is for Haley Jones, but I am intrigued just in the meantime of what that kind of looks like, and they don't really have any other point guards right now. So
yeah,
I mean, there's certainly worse places to. It's rare, I feel like, from a hardship perspective, where you find like a true need in this way, like for like a long term perspective, where I feel like, yeah, like I could see Haley sticking on this roster long term, while also being on a team that is good, like at the same time. Normally, if you're a long term like prospect from a hardship perspective, your team's probably not that good, but it's a nice kind of situation for her. But I think the most notable, and especially for you, Shawnee, hardship was Ari McDonald going to Indiana as the backup point guard. Obviously, Sig Colson gets hurt in that game, in their last game against Connecticut. Wasn't on the injury report, so it seems like she'll be good to go at the time of recording this, at least. Sophie also gets hurt in that game. She's going to be out. And then obviously Caitlin still out with the quadricep. And so I'm interested. Where are you at? Where are you at with Indiana after first off with the hardship part specifically, and then maybe we can go into a bit of a broader Indiana dialogue here about how you're feeling with them.
We need a sponsor like bad. Now's the time for a commercial break. Like, man,
please sponsor us.
And I was just like,
Las Vegas Tourism Committee. We will also take
100,000, please.
We don't even have it. You can talk directly to us if that'd be easier. You just say the word. But yes, continue.
I like Ari, right? So this is no disrespect to her, but like another undersized guard that doesn't defend super well, like Kelsey Mitchell, Ari McDonald backcourt, that's supposed to hold it over. I was kind of excited to see what could happen, and I don't know, because like the stint of her playing point guard in Atlanta didn't go super well, and I'm still willing to blame Tanisha Wright for all of the ills of society. Like, that's fine. So you give her some grace on that. Who picked her up after that? Los Angeles,
yes. Well, she was actually like she was pretty decent there. It was like,
yeah,
like just as a backup point guard, like doing like nothing like grand or anything, but doing backup point guard things,
Okay, like I don't know. I go get, where's Mariah Jefferson? God dang, of all times for her not to be available, of all times for like Odyssey Sims to not be available in Dallas.
No, literally. Like, this is Odyssey Sims like territory right here. And Mariah's on Chicago. your kind of normal hardship
steady
players.
point or a Crystal Dangerfield who is super undersized, but like you at least know what you're gonna get. But like
I halfway expected Grace Berger, to be honest. Like that was the very first name that popped into my head.
Here's my thing, because Fever fans don't understand like what the what is the word I'm looking for? Like, why do we like Grace Berger so much?
Okay.
Basically. And for me, it's just like at the very least, she knew how to get the ball to Aaliyah Boston.
That
she
was
knew how
and that was the bare minimum in that rookie season.
And then when you look at the game the other day, Aaliyah Boston had to get the ball to Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston was leading the team in assists. Like
felt like old times.
Bruh, it was nasty. Aaliyah was the best ball handler by far. And that's, man, like, no. So Grace knew how to get the ball across midcourt, important, and find Aaliyah Boston. Very important, because Aaliyah shot, 7 of 8 last game? And, like, she was 7 of 7 for a very long time. She was shooting 100% for a very long time. Then they showed the stats of, like, layups and percentages, like, leading the league. She's at, like, 70. She's almost at 70%. It was, like, 69 something. Get her the ball. Her post moves are second to none. Get her the ball. That's why I like Grace Berger. She knows how to get the ball to Aaliyah Boston. Ari, I gotta see it. 2025 is just the year of I gotta see it. I don't even know if I want to say this, but it was like internet discussions of like who they should have signed and who they could have signed. And I just think it's interesting that y'all are like, what is the obsession with Grace Berger? But like then you'll bring up like Kennedy Carter to the Fever, and I'm like, again, another undersized point guard that doesn't defend super well. Yeah, and then it's just like the whole Marina and Dejanay rivals to roomies type vibe, that worked because it was strictly on the court. They yapped and then they moved on. It's easier to be like, yeah, you know what? I could go to war with somebody like that. It just it just so happens that I was at war with that person. All right, it is what it is. But like when you go on a like 16-hour social media rant calling somebody overrated and one-dimensional and reveling in how happy people were that you like knocked her down or whatever, like I don't see how you smooth that over and have things, because even if she is injured, right? Like she's still very engaged in practices and in huddles and in the locker room. Team chemistry like matters so that when she comes back, it's like not a drop off or anything. So I don't know how that would work. And like, we get some buckets, but at what cost? At what cost?
Yeah, that was never. Frankly, I doubt that was ever even like on the table, to be quite honest. Like from inside the Fever organization, I did also see some of the talk about it on social media, but just for a quick hit, we'll actually we'll transition to our next segment with this, with some stocks for some teams around the league. But I want to get your take on the Fever right now, because obviously stocks are not very high, and the AB MVP, like the push here with Caitlin out, like hasn't been bad games, but has like not like the entirely most dominant, and not even saying that that's all her fault, because as you mentioned, it feels like we're back to old times a little bit with some of the playing through AB or the lack thereof in that way. But just a quick hit, and then we'll move on to some other teams. But your feelings right now on just where the Fever stand, and as they kind of just try and weather the storm a little bit with Caitlin out.
We gotta flex the schedule because don't nobody need to see any more of this. Get some of these games off the air. Cut the cameras.
Because some of these
cut the cameras.
NBA TV, CBS, ESPN3, ABC, NBA TV, Prime, ESPN. Like, oh my, like literally every game is on a minimum NBA TV.
We've made the game too accessible. Shut it down.
It's time to gatekeep.
Sorry, America. That's enough.
This is where
we'll,
no cast.
We'll be back. Hey,
it's the John Morant. It's the John.
Yeah, like no, we can't keep doing this.
Yeah,
we're scaring the hoes now. So we'll see how the McDonald's signing goes, because at the very least, like, nobody can dribble on that team, and that's alarming. Didn't know that. Hate that we found out the hard way. Yeah, but right now, no stock. I'm good.
Yeah.
Don't rush her back either, and she needs to now. She should be in a wheelchair like Paul Pierce. I don't know why I keep seeing her picking up random humans. Like, it's a baby one day, a white woman the next day. Like, stop.
I'm the white woman. Yeah, I'm with you though. I tell you the one thing. Even if, like, obviously you want the wins to come from this period, I think the biggest thing for me is, like, can you get Kelsey Mitchell rolling in this time frame? Because, like, if you're able to kind of get her momentum back, even if it's her being more involved, just generally speaking right now, and kind of playing through it if you have to some, I think in the long term that might be beneficial. But yeah, right now not great for Indiana, and, like, reasonably so. But frankly, the WNBA season is just not that long. So, like, depending on how long Caitlin is out, like, we know we had like the 2-week timeline just for reevaluation, and, like, the fact that she is up and moving and everything like that, seemingly, I would like to think is a good sign. I'm not a doctor, I don't know, but, like,
I think it's a sign she's hard-headed.
Now that could also be the case. That could also absolutely be the case. But Shawnee, I'm interested in any other teams that have caught your eye, whether good or bad. Like, let me know where are your stocks lying right now in this WNBA season.
I don't like saying it, but Coach Giblets, he's
kind of,
they're 5-2. Satu Sabali is averaging 21, 8, 2 and 2 steals. Like,
yeah,
that's some numbers. That's some, like, we might have to have a conversation numbers. You know, maybe she gets most improved again.
We're back.
Put her in the mix. Put her in the mix. But, like, I thought they were not dead in the water, but closer to dead in the water after Kalia Copper goes down.
Yeah,
he's got them clicking. I really, really, really like what you call it, Monica Akoa Makani.
Yes,
and what he's getting.
I don't know where they found like half this roster at.
Right,
but they are getting the most out of them. Like, I know you hate to say it, but he's coaching his ass off with this team, and props also to the front office as well for finding these players to fit the style from all over the world. Like what do you mean Catherine Westbeld is averaging is putting like 10 points up in games?
Bro, I don't even know if I should admit this, but, like, Rashard, well, let's just keep it at Rashard has apparently been a Catherine Westbeld fan.
We had no idea
for the whole time,
because he's been 30 all his life.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, where I was like, why are you calling Maddie Catherine? Like, what are you talking about, dog? He's like, no, that's her sister. I was like, what do you mean Notre Dame just has multiple?
There's so many sisters.
Yeah, like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
No, but, like, you know, he's got him going.
He's doing. And the fact that even with AT going down for these past couple of games, like, they're still winning. I'm like, so here's the thing. Like, I put up a video you can find it on the YouTube channel from a couple of games ago while AT was still healthy, and I'm like, the whole thing is essentially okay. As to your point, I completely agree. Like, when Ka went down, and then when Natasha Mack went down, that's two starters that you lost, and also your only two connections from last season because of how new this roster is. So any type of familiarity with the system is off the court right now. And so I'm like, okay. And like, maybe we need to be, and like, Alyssa Thomas got credit at Connecticut. I don't want to make it sound like she wasn't, like, she was in MVP conversations. Like, there was like the three-headed race with her, Asia, and Stewie that one year, like, just a couple years ago. So, like,
keep going.
So she has been heralded as like a top caliber player. But, like, the fact that she is kind of just like the engine for this team, like, in this way, is even more impressive here with this roster than it was ever in Connecticut to me. And, like, that's partially just because who's around her also. And then you're kind of just cool with Satu taking as many shots as she wants. And because of the system of this and like who is surrounding her, it kind of doesn't matter how, like, if she is inefficient or not. And it completely, and I went more in depth on like the video itself, but like it kind of just breaks my basketball brain that Phoenix is doing what they're doing. But yet when I'm seeing it, I'm like, okay, like this is making sense. But on paper, I could not be more lost at the fact that this is like actually working right now, with especially without Ka and Natasha Max.
So because again, and yeah, so like you, and that was gonna be my point. I kind of zoned out and was hoping like the more I talked, the more I would remember my point. It didn't work, but yeah, no. Alyssa Thomas goes down, and like they're still humming. Like they beat a solid LA Sparks team. Odyssey Sims has like 32 points. I don't know like why. I don't know why that happened, but like MVP her too. You know,
might as well.
Plum has 15, Hamby has 15. So you know they stop Azare, but then you get like 24 from Sabali, 15 from Loxa, 15 from Westbeld, 11 from Sammy Whitcomb, and then 10 from Akoa Makani, and it's like, they holding it down. Like you are getting solid production from some unlikely sources, and
it's
man. Giblets is
really good. He's doing his thing. Like to me right now, he's coach of the year for me. Like if I was to vote,
not
right
quite.
Now.
Who? Me, Smesko. Smesko's made a believer.
You know what?
Me.
That's cool. I can't.
Smesko has made a believer.
Like
I saw Brianna Jones hit a 3, and I said that last week. I've never seen that in my life.
I ain't never ever.
Smesko, hello. So Smesko made a believer out of me, but like it's really really close between the two. I feel like
I have no problem with Smesko.
Yeah, I have no problem if they like split it in half. Like if we have our first ever co-coaches, like I would honestly 100%.
As of right now, if the season ended today, type beat. But like, no, Phoenix is even if you go back to the game before, they came back and almost beat Minnesota without AT after a very slow start to that game. Like they were like it was not
walked them down.
It was a great. So like I mean, again, like I'll be very intrigued at. And to me, I think the biggest thing is that none of this screams like it's going to stop with the addition of Ka. Like Ka doesn't hurt what's happening here. Is what's very exciting to me if I'm a Phoenix fan. Of like by the time Ka gets back, and we'll see like exactly what point of the season that's in terms of like the build up to the playoffs and things of that nature. But no, both them and Atlanta's a great shot too.
ACL or something.
She'll be. I think she's going to be back. I forget exactly what it was. I can try. Let's see.
Left knee injury.
It was a scope of her knee, so it was 4 to 6 weeks. That's what it was. It was a scope, so it was like kind of just a cleanup thing. So it's still, I mean, like it's a pretty hefty amount of time. That was May 18th that this was reported. So, but like so around like All-Star break-ish.
Yeah, and that only makes them more dangerous.
Yeah, so like honestly, if they can stay afloat, but like they're swimming. Right now, they ain't just staying afloat; they're swimming. So by the time we get the All-Star break, it'd be very interesting seeing where they are. But just one team for me on some good stocks before we wrap up here. I did get to see the Chicago Sky and Dallas Wings game in person. We had boots on the ground there. It's the Wings, so I'm not getting ahead of myself by any means. However, what I saw from Chicago, and more specifically Ariel Atkins in these past 3 games, has been very, very like encouraging in that way, because and I got to ask her after the game. She was like, "Yeah, I don't even think it's like anything. Like I think she said she was being a little bit more conscious of like actually getting shots up and going after it, but also just like being in a new place with new teammates and things of that nature." But if you look at her scoring split, she started the season off 11, 8, and 9 with 6 shot attempts, 8 shot attempts, 6 shot attempts. The next 3 games where they lose by 5 to Phoenix in a game where they probably should have won, 21 points, 15 shots. Then in the 2 Dallas games back-to-back, 17 points, 26 points, 14 shots, 14 shots. It's just a volume thing. And just creating a bit of variety for this Sky offense where, frankly, the offense hasn't always looked great this season. It's been a little bit murky at times, and trying to fit new people into new places, or even a player like Angel into a new role or things of that nature, like just asking people to do new things. Like there's been growing pains, and it's not It's not perfect yet, but the fact that if Ariel Atkins, and I mean, I was on her head early and in this season, and I made a video about it, about how it wasn't enough. This is starting to more like your win now player that you traded for.
Oh,
Those
she
first
took
3
that
games,
personal.
she did.
Hey, she might send some people after you.
As she should. And that's okay. And I'm happy. I'll happy to eat that, because you know what? I was right. Because as soon as she starts doing her thing, they win 2 games. So you know what? Send them. I'll shake their hand and say, hey, we on the same page, big dog.
Not you're welcome. Oh my gosh.
That's all good with me. That's all good with me. But no, that was, again, seeing her 8 of 14 in person in limited minutes too, like 26 minutes because she was in foul trouble. Watching that in person, I was like, okay, like I still don't think it was the right move to go win now and try and make that trade. But this is the player that you're expecting to get from that, is what we saw this weekend in Dallas. So any other team for you, one way or the other?
On the flip side,
yeah, let's get into it.
Boy, Chris T sides.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
If you are still waiting to dump your stock in him, stay in line. Kokonis is not it right now. And I said this on the pod last week. Like, I don't know if this Matthew McConaughey cosplay is gonna work. And we see that clip of Dejanay like sitting there, like,
yeah, the togetherness clip.
Yeah, because somebody had pointed it out. Like, he just sounds like a summer camp counselor. Like, he would be great at the exact tweet was he would be great at a low stakes summer camp. And I was like, oof.
Damn.
Yeah. It's just
pretty brutal.
It's just I saw another tweet that was like, sounds like he's constantly doing yoga in his head. And so like he's not really listening to what's going on. And I was like, hey, y'all going in. Y'all going in.
Because they got the Page and UConn fans over locked into Dallas Wings basketball, and that was never. The Dallas Wings organization has never been built for this level of magnifying glass on it. Like,
because it used to just be me.
Literally,
it used to just be me. Mad every day. Because when the Aces did that ADL thing, it reminded me of when the Greg Bibb like had a program where they were like feeding police at the height of Black Lives Matter and we're fighting police brutality, and you went and fed the cops. They deleted that tweet too, but I was like, have you gone mad? I'm shocked that they haven't blocked me yet, but like, people are getting sick of it. It just doesn't sound it doesn't give anybody confidence in him. So he can still turn it around. I doubt it. Paige is gonna win Rookie of the Year though. They had that graphic about like leading rookies in statistical categories, and she's got like points, assists, and
she's been good.
I think steals.
She's been pretty damn good.
She's been all right.
She's been pretty damn good.
I wouldn't say all that.
The difference in her on the court and off the court is pretty damn major for that Dallas team. I ain't gonna hold you. It's
the Wings. But like my checklist is still, are you going to be first
that checklist is crazy. So
hello, are you still going to be a first team all W selection? So I mean, you'll get Rookie of the Year. Congratulations, because it is a competition this year.
It is, sure.
But I need to see more. Are you getting the triple double? Are you getting what, man?
Yeah,
you got to be better. Are you going to be in MVP talks?
This is so wicked, and like it's not you're just holding. It's just the receipts. Like I mean, you have all the screenshots.
I didn't even do it.
Yeah,
I was just perfectly fine, like just hate watching and coasting along. But then I got to hear some things. So now we're making the comparisons. Because here's my point: if y'all had just made the comparisons their freshman year, and we could have had this healthy rivalry leading up to now, things could have been smoother. But now I have to do it. So buckle up.
Turn back to the old me, the Bugs Bunny me. It's just,
Sabrina fans, if you want to hurt her feelings, you come hate on Paige with me. I guarantee it'll be worth it.
You were born in the fires of Westbrook versus Harden for this day.
Boy.
Yeah.
Boy.
17
made me a different person.
I remember the
different person. I've seen some things.
Yeah. No, you ain't lying. Okay. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap this episode of Ball Up Top. Right about an hour. Thank y'all for tapping in here with us. Of course, go check out our friends at Homefield. Use code NOCAT15 to get the best college gear in the game. We have our specially curated women's basketball collection made from us for you. Use code NOCAT15 and get 15% off your first order. And of course, if you're listening on podcast platforms, rate, like, all those type of things. 5 stars. Share it. Show a friend. You know, if you got an SGA fan in your life, you know where to point them to. Okay? You know where to point them to. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, share, all those things. It all helps in helping us keep doing what we're doing here at No Cap Space. And of course, NoCapSpaceWBB.com for all of our print and podcast content. So make sure you're tapped in across the board because our TikTok's been popping, Instagram's been popping, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, you name it. You name it. We got it. So make sure you're tapped in across the board with No Cap Space, and we'll see you next time.